Dr. S.I.F. Philomen Raj, MSc, MPhil PhD, retired Head Department of Physics, Madras Christian College, Tambaram, Chennai. He is presently serving as a guest lecturer in Loyola College, Nungambakkam, Chennai. He has a teaching experience of 35 years in Madras Christian College for UG and PG students. His field of research is nuclear physics, and he has presented about 30 papers in symposia organized by Baba Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. He has guided 50 MPhil students and about 100 MSc students in their projects. He has authored practical physics books for MSc and BSc courses. He is presently engaged in writing a book on nuclear physics for Printhias Hall, India.
Welcome to UGC lecture series in physics. Let us continue with the nuclear and particle physics. So we have been discussing about natural radioactivity, and we said it is exponential, and now we will just go through, derive an expression for mean life and expression for half life, and also the relation between mean life and half life. So what is half life? So this is the first equation. What you have written is the decay law of radioactivity. N is the number of nuclei at a given time now, and N0 is the number of nuclei at the origin of time, equal to minus lambda t. Already we said that exponential factor E factor comes in all natural decay, like charging, discharging of a capacitor, all that we have already discussed, and this lambda is the decay constant. So this is the general expression. Now here, since we have said about half life, rewrite this expression in terms of time. So you just write as n equal to n by n0 e power minus lambda t. So here it is n0 by n. So the next step we are writing is n0 by n. First is n by n0, here it is n0 by n. Therefore e power minus lambda t becomes e power plus lambda t. Now find out the expression for t. So I have to take logarithm. If you take logarithm, I will be getting lambda t, this logarithm of this part, and the other side this one natural logarithm ln of n0 by n. Now we want expression for t. So what should I do? I have to take this lambda to the denominator. So we will be doing that the next line. So we write as lambda t of. What is t of? T of is the time taken for the nuclei to become half the value. For example, suppose a radioactive rock is having 1 lakh nuclei. After some time it will become 50,000. So what is the time in which it becomes half? That is called half life. And therefore in the previous thing we have written as lambda into t, where t is the general time. Now here we want expression for half life. Therefore we just write this t as t of. That is what we do. We write as t as t of. Now what should I do with this one n? N must be written as n0 by 2, because that is the time in which the number of nuclei, original number of nuclei was n0, now it will come to n0 by 2. That is what we will do. So we will just write this t as t of and this n as n0 by 2. That is what we have done. So lambda t of, that is half life t of, equal to natural logarithm of n0 and n0 by 2. n0 by 2 is the number of nuclei becoming half, and this n0 will get cancelled. I will be getting log n 2. So lambda t power half is equal to log n 2, natural logarithm of 2, or I can write t half is equal to natural logarithm of 2 by lambda. See, this lambda is taken to the denominator, and we know what is natural logarithm of 2. Natural logarithm of 2 is 0.693. So therefore half life t half is equal to 0.693 by lambda. So this is an expression for half life. So this is the time in which a nuclei will become half the value. 1 lakh nuclei will become 50,000, and again that 50,000 nuclei will become 25,000 in that same time t half, and this 25,000 will become 12,500 in the same time. So it will take half the value, time taken for the nuclei to become half the value. Now we will just go to what is mean life. Now here when you say the half life expression we have derived, Before we go to mean life, I would like to say something about the probability. Already we discussed that lambda, decay constant lambda, is physically we have derived. Physically we have shown that it is probability of decay per second. So, the probability of decay per unit time, probability of decay per second. Now, here when you say probability of decay, the probability of decay can be alpha, beta, gamma or anything else also. So, we just natural radioactivity consists of alpha, beta, gamma, and therefore, we write as lambda is equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3, and theoretically it can be something else also, but here we are just stopping with lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3 because corresponding to maybe alpha, beta, gamma, that is what you written. Lambda is equal to lambda alpha, lambda beta plus lambda gamma. So, what it means, this is the nucleus can decay by alpha, beta or gamma. So, the total probability will be lambda, and this lambda A will be the probability of emitting alpha. Lambda B refers to probability of emitting beta. Lambda gamma refers to probability of decay of gamma. So, all the three together, probability, this, that, it must be a total, must be a constant. So, this total probability will be equal to sum of the partial probabilities. These are partial probabilities. This is total probability, partial probability. And here we define a quantity called branching ratio. So, in other words, for example, I want a nucleus can emit alpha, beta or gamma, and we want to know what is the probability of emitting alpha. In that case, we just take probability of alpha, lambda alpha by total probability. This is favorable by this is total. Therefore, this is called branching ratio. So, this ratio tells you what is the probability of suppose a nucleus is emitting maybe 1000 different particles, 1000 decay, of which some of them will be alpha, some will be beta, some will be gamma, and what is the probability of emitting alpha is given by this branching ratio. So, we have just said about alpha, it is true for other thing. Branching ratio for beta emission will be lambda beta by lambda. So, and for gamma emission, lambda gamma by lambda. So, this is called branching ratio. Suppose a nucleus is emitting only alpha, then it will be 1. This will branching ratio will be unity. For example, uranium 238, suppose it emits only alpha particle, no beta, no gamma. In that case, the branching ratio alpha is for alpha will be equal to 1. So, lambda alpha by total will also be lambda alpha. Therefore, it will be will be 1, which means 100% the nucleus will be emitting only alpha. Suppose it is emitting something else also, we get maybe 10% alpha, 90% beta. So, we get the ratio, branching ratio for any nucleus. Now, here we just stop as lambda equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3, assuming natural radioactivity will have only alpha, beta and gamma emission. But in recent years, experimental people, experimental physicists have established emission of other clusters other than alpha, namely carbon 612 is emitted and O816 is also emitted along with alpha, beta, gamma. But that branching ratio for that will be very small, very small. Suppose we get to 1 lakh alpha emission, maybe 1 of the 1 lakh, 1 will be that C14 emission. That C14 or any cluster other than alpha, emission of any cluster other than alpha is called exotic decay. Exotic decay or general cluster radioactivity. Exotic in the sense very different from normal. So, if you include that, then you will be getting lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3 plus etc. We can write as other things also. But here these are all prominent, therefore, we just stop here. Now, we will go to mean life. We were just discussing about the half life. Now, what is the mean life? So, if you take a nucleus, how long it will take for the whole all of the nuclei to vanish. So, there is a mean life. All will not vanish at the same time. If you have got 1 lakh nuclei, one of them will be coming first, then the second one after some time. Finally, maybe if you consider 1 lakh nuclei, the 1 lakh, the last nuclei will take infinite time to come out. So, you understand, of the 1 lakh nuclei, some are coming immediately, some are coming after some time, some will come after after infinite time. Therefore, we have to take average or mean. What is the mean of life, mean time? So, here for that, at origin of time, so this is the general expression for radioactivity, n equal to n0 e power minus lambda t, already we stated. Now, from this expression what we find is, at time t equal to 0, if we put t equal to 0 here, we get e power 0 which is 1, n equal to n0. So, at the origin of time t equal to 0 and the number of nuclei will be n0, because n will be equal to n0. Therefore, number of nuclei will be n0 at origin of time. Now, as time passes, nuclei decay one by one. We do not know which one will decay first, which one will decay. So, it is like saying, suppose you have got 100 people, some die at an early stage, some die at maybe 50 years, some say 70 years, some 90 years, some 100 years. So, of the 100 people, some are dying at 1 year, 2 years, etc. Now, what is the in that town? What is the mean life? We can say some are dying at 1, some are dying at maybe at birth, and some at 100. So, the mean will be, we have to sum up all that number of people you divide and you will know the average, roughly 50, about 50 will be the average life. It does not mean all will live at 50 years. Some will die early, some will die very late. So, the mean is that. Therefore, in that concept, so we say as time passes, nuclei decay one by one. So, what we say, let dn1, number of nuclei, let us say dn1 decay in time t1, a small number of nuclei decay in time t1. Therefore, lifetime of dn1 is t1. So, that for that duration it is able to live, that is the lifetime of dn1 number of nuclei. Similarly, the lifetime for dn2 nuclei is t2, the lifetime of dn3 nuclei is t3. So, this is the lifetime of, we are taking as a segment, small number of nuclei. Now, if you add up all this dn1, dn2, dn3, all of them, we will be getting total number of nuclei available, and the time, this is the time, I have to take average. So, we will go to how to get the average or mean. The mean lifetime will be t dn1, because dn1 number of nuclei is living for t1 seconds, dn2 number of nuclei is living for t2 seconds, dn3 number of nuclei is living for t3 seconds. Therefore, add up to the end, you add up, then total number of nuclei. So, that will be the mean life. So, the mean life, so for half life we gave the symbol T off, for mean life we give the symbol tau. Tau is the symbol for mean life. Tau is equal to, we are just integrating this one, this part, instead of adding it is like integration. So, we write T dn, see this T1 dn1, T2 dn2, T3 dn3, that is all written mathematically as T dn, and total number of nuclei. The total number of nuclei at the origin of time is n0. At the origin of time, when the rock was just created, n0 nuclei are there, and after as time passes they decay one by one. Therefore, the total is n0. So, we are integrating from 0 to, because the dn is the variable, the number of nuclei. So, from 0 to n0, 0 to n0 is the total number of nuclei. So, that is the integration, lower limit and upper limit. Now, we go back to general law of radioactivity, n equal to n0 e power minus lambda t. What we are going to do now, we want to substitute for this dn in equation 1. So, for that purpose we are just taking the general equation and we are differentiating dn equal to this one, n0 will be there, for e power minus lambda t, differentiate e power minus lambda t, and minus lambda comes here into dt. Now, what I need to do, I have to substitute this 2 in 1, that is what we will be doing in next equation. Using 2 in 1, I will be getting mean life tau is equal to minus lambda t e power minus lambda t dt. Here we are just substituting there, that n0 will get cancelled. So, if you substitute this there, n0 will get cancelled and we get minus lambda will be there, e power minus lambda t will be there, this t will be there, dt will be there. Therefore, we will be able to get this equation 3. Equation 3 we get. Now, here we observe the first one, the integral, here the integral we have written as 0 to n0. The lower limit is 0, upper limit is n0. But here we are writing as infinity to 0, because here the variable is different. There the variable is n. Here we have rewritten in terms of time dt. Now, here at time t equal to 0, n equal to n0, So, in the earlier first equation, the upper limit was n0, therefore, it corresponds to time t0, and the lower limit was 0 in that equation, and the time corresponds to t equal to infinity. We will go back to that equation 1. Here it is 0 to n0, Now, here when you go to this one, 0 to n0, in the place of 0 it is infinity, in the place of n0 it is t equal to 0. So, we have the variable, instead of n we have taken the variable dt. Now, t will be equal to, what we do here, it is minus. So, here we are making it plus, thereby what we do is, instead of infinity to 0 we are changing the limits 0 to infinity. So, this is minus, this has become plus, because we have changed the integral infinity to 0 to infinity, equation 4. Now, this is the expression for mean life. Now, this has to be evaluated, this integral has to be evaluated. There are so many ways of evaluating this integral. Maybe you can put a geometrical trigonometric substitution or algebraic substitution. Here we have just taken one way. The integral can be evaluated by parts, one way of evaluating. So, we know that integral u dv is equal to uv minus integral v du, that is general expression. Now, here we have to consider this equation and accordingly decide what is u, what is dv, and then you have to use equation 5 and 4, that we will be doing the next equation. So, consider integral 0 to infinity t e power minus lambda t dt. So, what we have done here, see, in this integral lambda is a constant. So, we will substitute that later. So, what we have done is, this part alone is taken as the integral, required integral, then we will include lambda later. So, this part t e power minus lambda t dt, that is what we are considering here. So, 0 to infinity t e power minus lambda t dt. Here this we take as t is equal to u, and what will be du? Du will be dt, and this part we take it as a dv. dv is equal to e power minus lambda t dt, that part. So, because it is a u dv method, this is u and this is dv. So, dv equal to e power minus lambda t dt. Now, what is v? So, the v will be integrating, we will be getting v equal to, if you integrate this, e power minus lambda t by minus lambda, this is it. Now, you just see, we have got, we know what is u, what is du, we know what is dv, what is v. Now, what you need to do is, we have to use this in equation 5, see this one, u dv equal to uv minus integral v du, you have to substitute that. So, that is what we are going to do now. So, using 5, 0 to infinity t e power minus lambda t dt is equal to, we are just substituting you just follow that, this one, u dv equal to uv minus integral v du. So that's what you are doing. U dV and then upper limit you are giving minus integral V du. This is V and this is du. Already in the previous expression we have given that. So we are only substituting U dV minus integral V du. We just substitute all these parameters in that equation, you will be getting this. Now here upper limit minus lower limit. If you put upper limit e power minus infinity, that is 0. So that is 0 here. If you put lower limit, this is t equal to 0. So 0 minus 0. Plus here this is 1 minus there, 1 minus there. So it is plus and 1 by lambda. And here this 0 to infinity e power minus lambda t dt will be equal to this one, e power minus lambda t. So we are able to get this expression. See 1 by lambda and you are getting e power, if you integrate, I will be getting e power minus lambda t by minus lambda. Therefore, I will be getting 1 by lambda. Here again we are going to put the upper limit minus lower limit. If you put upper limit, it is 0. If you put lower limit, it is e power 0, which is 1. So 1 by lambda, and it is upper limit minus lower limit. So this minus becomes plus. I will get this. Now here this comes out to be 1 by lambda squared. So this is 1 by lambda squared. If you remember that the integral, we have to use this expression in tau. In that expression tau, that is mean life, we add this expression into lambda. So I have to just multiply by lambda. So I have to use this 6 in the previous expression. 6 in 4. So if you remember, 4 equation 4 add lambda, one constant already there. So t is equal to lambda by lambda squared. So I will be getting tau is equal to 1 by lambda. So I will just go back to that equation 4. See this equation 4, tau is equal to lambda. This integral we have solved now. This integral we have solved and it has come as 1 by lambda squared. This integral has come as 1 by lambda squared. Into lambda will become 1 lambda, 1 by lambda. That is what we have shown in the last in this expression in equation 7. So tau mean life is equal to 1 by lambda. So lambda is already we have discussed, lambda is probability of decay per second. So 1 by lambda will be time taken for decay. So this is probability of decay per second. So 1 by lambda will be mean time for total decay, and Tf, already we know that Tf is equal to 0.693 by lambda. Already we have derived expression for Tf. Now if you compare this 7 and this Tf, this for 1 by lambda I can write as tau. Therefore Tf is equal to 0.693 tau. So the half life is equal to 0.693 times tau mean life. So this is the equation 8 is the relation between half life and mean life of a nucleus. So what we have discussed is natural decay is exponential. So just to refresh what we said, any decay which is natural is exponential, that is it has got a factor e power x or e power minus x. So as we said, even hair growth is exponential, or healing of a wound is exponential, or coming to physics part, charging of a capacitor is exponential, or discharge of a capacitor is exponential. So also nuclear decay is exponential, and this was observed by Napier, and that is the base of natural logarithm. So here we have derived expression for mean life, which is mean life tau is equal to 1 by lambda, and we have derived expression for half life which is 0.693 by Tf. Half life is 0.693 by lambda, and we have obtained a relation between mean life and half life. So Tf is equal to 0.693 into tau. So we have been discussing this. Now we will just a few questions we will put up. Write down the law of natural radioactivity, derive an expression for mean life, derive an expression for half life, and obtain the relation between mean life and nuclear decay. Now here, since we have discussed about the decay, alpha, beta, gamma and the general branching ratio, etc. Now if we go into alpha decay separately, we have to think about alpha decay reaction and then Q value of alpha decay. What is Q value of alpha decay? We have been discussing about the mean life, half life, and we have put some questions also. So we will continue with alpha decay in the next session. Thank you.